Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Getting a little soapboxy here already. Jeez.
I mean, content.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Happy birthday to our good friend Nick. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah, 31.
Nice. Welcome to the club.
Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 48.
Chris, I visited my godparents a couple weekends ago, and I learned something that I never expected. They listen to this podcast.
Oh, cool. Hi, Jason's godparents.
So we sat down. I'm going to paint a picture here. I'm going to paint a picture for you. I'm going to paint a picture here. Ready?
Okay, sure.
I get there, and they have one of the coziest homes you can imagine, right? You walk in, everything is perfect, super clean, everything is decorated immaculately. They told me that they've been living there 47 years now. So, just imagine this, like, perfect home out of a previous generation, right?
Okay.
Great. I love going over there, right? We sit down on the couch, we're just talking a little bit, and my godfather goes, "Tell me about Factorio."
Okay. Not what you were expecting.
I was stunned to silence. I was stunned. I was just like, how the heck does he know about Factorio? And, we got into it, and I was like, you listen, like, to the latest episode of the podcast, right? Like, you're up to, not like you listened 2 months ago and you're bringing it up for conversation. You are up to date.
Yeah, because that had been like 3 days after that episode came out, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was stunned. So we're sitting there talking about Factorio, and he's asking all these questions, and I'm talking about it, and I'm kind of like, using my hands to, like, here's the map, and you've got different areas, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I was explaining Factorio. But I just wanted to say, thank you and shout out to my godparents for listening. That is incredible. I know that you understand about 50% of the words that we say on this podcast, but I am very thankful to you that you listen, and to everyone else. Thank you all for listening. It's been a lot of fun for Chris and I, and I enjoy hearing about every single one of you that takes the time to listen every week.
Yeah, and along those lines, we've actually gotten some great feedback in the PNA Discord, which you can join at discord.pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com. It's
actually been really nice to see a more... It's not real-time discussion. People come and go as they listen to stuff, but it's just with the little bit of feedback we've had, I've had a lot more fun kind of seeing people's reactions to the episodes. And I'd love to see more people kind of in the Discord and participating, because it is a lot of fun. We make a lot of jokes. I put a lot of GIFs.
Yes. Right now, the highlight GIF is a panda destroying a computer. So if you want to see that and other great content, visit discord.pnapodcast.com.
For 2 episodes in a row now, Chris, we're going to have an actual format with follow-up.
Hey, wow. Is this 2 points make a line? We setting a trend here?
I guess. 2 weeks in a row, we kind of have some great follow-up. A couple episodes ago, we talked about mobile games. We had a little bit of follow-up last week. I just want to kind of follow it up with a game that we talk about that is also coming out with a mobile game that I'm kind of excited about. I don't know too much, so we're just kind of putting it right at the top. Rocket League is coming out with a mobile game in 2021 called SideSwipe. They're essentially taking the Rocket League game and making it kind of 2D, where your car goes left and right and up and down, but not, there's not that third dimension. So you can play on a phone, and that's about all I know about it. But it looks kind of cool, and it's a mobile game, and it just goes to show that, more and more companies are trying to break into that market because that's where the money is. But I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen much about this. I just went onto their website, and it looks like they have a version of Hoops, a version of like a regular game. This looks really kind of fun. I do like, the idea of games getting into the mobile space and having some high quality games to play on my phone. I am concerned that they will be still full of ads, as we talked about on our mobile game episode, but I definitely will be giving this one a try at least when it comes out. I'm hoping that they go the way of Dota Underlords and don't put a bunch of ads in their thing and really just try to sell cosmetics and that kind of thing, because that is absolutely the way to get me to give you money, is to not make your mobile game spammy and annoying.
Yeah, it looks like there's a ton of cosmetics, so I hope they go that direction as well.
Could you imagine if you get to link your Epic account and you get to like earn things across the two games?
Oh, that'd be really cool. I hope they do something like that. I don't know that they can bring all the cosmetics over because that defeats kind of the purpose of the revenue stream, but maybe. I don't know. That'll be cool. The other cool thing that I want to point out is like looking at some of these screenshots, it looks like they went through, I don't know, I assume they went through a couple phases of testing, and the goals aren't at the bottom. They're not like traditional soccer goals. They're like in the side wall of the arena instead of like all the way at the bottom of the arena. And I assume this has to do with because it's only 2D and, you know, everything kind of about that you'll be kind of up in the air more rather than driving back and forth on the ground. It seems to be a much more like get up into the air kind of game. So the goal is actually halfway up the side of the wall on the far side.
Yeah, I wonder if the goal will have some kind of like sucking effect, right? Where it sucks the ball into the goal if you get close, because it seems like getting it perfectly lined up such that it goes into the goal. I mean, maybe that's the point, is that you can't just pop it up the wall. You have to go fly for it and push it in. But it seems like you almost want like a small amount of gravity or like magnetic force or something to kind of pull it into the wall there.
It looks like a beta for it is coming out eventually this year. They do say it's slated for 2021. That's kind of all we know. There is a bit of marketing material if you want to go to search for Rocket League SideSwipe. But yeah, that was just a cool little thing that has come out since our last episode.
Yeah, along those lines of Rocket League, we've been playing a lot of the standard Rocket League on PC. It's kind of become our go-to game. And some of you will know, listening, that we have recently approached new heights in our rankings.
We just last episode talked about, you know, Rocket League Season 3. We didn't quite make it to Diamond, but they did some reshuffling of the ranks. You know, I've heard they did some rebalancing, but also Chris and I were right there and we knew that. And the placement matches this season have pushed us into the Diamond rank. Haven't really noticed too big of a skill difference, but probably because of the rebalancing. But it has been very nice to have that diamond next to our name.
Yeah, and that's actually unlocked a couple of other opportunities for us. Last week, I guess it was, we actually played in a tournament, and for the first time ever, we made it past the first round.
Yeah, we made it a couple rounds past the first round.
Yes, so we actually, to cut to the chase, we did make it all the way to the final, and we won the final. So we are now Rocket League Season 3 Diamond Tournament champions.
I have no idea how it happened. It was out of the blue. I'd never expected to win even the first game. And that was a crazy night.
Yeah, we just kept winning. And we're just like, all right, well, I guess we just keep going, keep doing this. It's fine.
We lost one of the round of threes, right? Like, so semifinals and finals are best of three. And we lost one of those like sets of games.
Right. Of the 5 games we played in those sets there, we lost one of them, which was pretty amazing.
The other thing to kind of note is that the tournament absolutely drains you.
Oh my gosh.
The tournament is over and we're like, okay, let's keep playing a little bit. And no, we were done. We were out.
Yeah, we couldn't hit the ball. Like it was surprising because you're like, okay, we're just off this high. We just won this thing. And we were communicating really well, which is really key. Here's a pro tip, take it from a tournament winner. You really need to communicate with your teammates to make sure that they all know what's going on and make sure you know where you are going and where, if I'm going for the ball, I have to say I got it, but I have to say I got it like 5 times so that I can really drive the point home. But then like if I'm going back, I got to say like, okay, I'm going back, so that my teammates are aware of what's going on and what I am doing. And that is really, I think, the key to success there was our strong communication and good rotations through that tournament.
Yeah, I think there were 2 things that we kind of did. We had someone new playing with me. I had never played with him before, but he was a great communicator and kind of set some trends that I really liked. The 2 things that I liked the most that we communicated that night were I'm with you, right? So you're pushing the ball up and you kind of know like who's driving parallel to you to make the shot when you center it. So like the phrase I'm with you I liked a lot, and I've tried to be using that more. Chris and I don't normally play threes. So the other one that we were using that our mutual friend kind of set out for us was they were calling, and then we started to learn to call which order in the rotation we were. So we would say, I'm 1, I'm 2, I'm 3, or I'm 3, I'm 3. Like that means I'm back, I'm ready, I'm the last line of defense. But what it also does is if you're 2, you know that if the number 1 misses, you're next, and the number 3 person doesn't also go, because that gets into a situation where you're double committing and your number 1 person hasn't recovered yet. So as soon as your number 1 recovered to number 3, they would say, I'm 3. That means 3 is now 2. And it just makes that rotation so good. Like it's so fluid. And you just know by hearing people calling out, I know I'm 3rd in rotation, that you can be, the number 1 person can be much more aggressive. The number 2 person doesn't have to worry about someone trying to fly past them and, cut the rotation. It was really, really fun and really draining.
Yeah, I mean, after that, we said we were missing balls, but also all of that communication just completely stopped after the tournament because we were rightfully, we were excited about our win and we wanted to talk about it and chat. And we hadn't been doing that because it had been so task focused in the communications, and that was our downfall. And so we played another game or two, and then we were that was really fun. We should do this again sometime, but we should stop playing for now. And so we did, and that was the right call.
In any case, we won a tournament. We won a tournament in Diamond. So goal met for season 3 already early in the season. That won't stop us from playing, but Rocket League season 3 is off to a great start. The last piece of follow-up that we have is about Factorio. Talked about it last week. We talked a lot about how we had never beat the game. And to no one's surprise, I hope, Chris and I finally logged on together and pushed the button to launch that rocket.
Yep, and we watched it go, and then it shows you a little summary of all the things that you've done in your playtime so far. And then you go back to making a factory. That's it.
And we haven't touched it since.
Okay, yes, that too. Been too much Rocket League to play.
Too much Rocket League to play. But no, Factorio, it was great. I can finally say that we've beat it. I think we'll get back to it at some point. I have lots of ideas on how to do things differently, but it has been very nice to kind of at least once now launch that rocket.
Yeah, Factorio is definitely a seasonal game. It's something that comes and goes. So this has been a nice little capstone to our current Factorio experience, and we will pick it up, I don't know, probably 6 months or so. Give it another shot. For today's topic, we actually had a piece of feedback that came in through Discord from a listener. So we wanted to read that out from listener Half-Tagged. They said, have you guys ever rage quit a game? If so, what game and why? Did you come back to it, or was it dead to you forever?
I love just the idea that a game is dead to someone forever, because it's such a meme, but it's so true.
Yeah, I think when I read this question and get to that dead to you forever thing, I kind of imagine you get so frustrated with a game, you throw the controller against the wall, it shatters into 100 pieces, and then you unplug the console and just put it in the corner and just don't even play anything on your PS3 for a week.
That's funny that you go to console, because my mind immediately goes to right clicking the game in Steam and uninstalling it.
Oh, yeah. So I will say, I don't think I have ever finished a session of a game and immediately uninstalled it within minutes of closing the game. But that I think is a personality thing for me, because I would close, if I was, done with a game and I probably wasn't going to play it again, I would probably close it, leave it around, and then 2 weeks later be oh, why is this thing still on my hard drive? And then just delete it. But it wouldn't be with any sort of emotion behind it. It would just kind of be a housekeeping thing for me.
I may have done that at some point. I can't name a specific game, but I try, every now and then to go back to humble games or things that I have on the side. And I seem to remember emotions of some sort where I'm trying a new game that I'm not really invested in. And maybe there's a game mechanic or I die and it sets me back. And I'm just you know what? I don't care enough. So I quit the game and I uninstall it. And I'm just it's not for me. But I wouldn't really call that a rage quit. I would call that I'm deciding I don't enjoy the game.
I seem to remember something where we finished something and you said, yeah, that wasn't fun. And I was like, oh, it wasn't so bad. And you said, nope, already uninstalled it. Like, I feel like that's in my head as something that Jason has said to me before.
That's most definitely something has happened, but I don't know that was out of rage.
Okay, fair.
Definitely like a scenario that like, hey, we died and I don't care to continue. I just don't care. So I would uninstall it. But if you take away that uninstall requirement, I've definitely closed a game in a heightened emotional state before.
And I think when you say heightened emotional state, you aren't talking about like happiness or bliss, right?
Most likely not, no. My first game was an MMO. I played my first like totally committed game was Star Wars Galaxies. But after I moved out of Star Wars Galaxies, I played FPSs for a long time. I did the original Black Ops and the Call of Duties and the Modern Warfares and
really,
I was a dumb little teenager. Yeah, no, I played those for a while.
That is surprising to me. I would not have pictured you as a Call of Duty person.
Yeah, I played probably for like a 5-year stint in my life. Definitely before I met you. Probably more like the high school, early college, maybe. But I liked I had grown out of the MMO. I didn't really like the World of Warcraft. Star Wars Galaxies was pretty much dead or was dying. So I wanted to, and the next best community kind of thing for me was people that played first-person shooters together. I liked team-based first-person shooters. Now, Call of Duty isn't really team-based. We could get into that. I tended to drift towards the battlefields and the larger scale things. But for a while, as I was kind of learning all that, I was into first-person shooters. It just happened to be what I clicked in, right? I play games to play with other people, and there was a community of people playing Call of Duty, so that's what I played. I don't remember any specific instances, but I am almost sure at some point I probably closed that game in a fit of rage because I was not good. I was okay at them. I was always shooting to have a 1 KD ratio. Kill as many people as I killed, but I was not good, and it was sometimes really, really frustrating. It was so long ago, I don't remember any specific instances. But you and I have some experience with first-person shooters a little bit more recently, that we both played Destiny 2.
Yep. Yeah. Destiny 2 is a very fun game. Some would say that the gunplay in it is too easy, but I actually think that it's the right level of, difficulty and ease for me to not get super frustrated because I do not like Call of Duty. Like, I have decided I just do not like that game. And I played it with some friends a couple years ago with World War II and all of that. And, I'll tolerate it. I'll play it to play with people, but I do not enjoy playing Call of Duty. But Destiny 2, great game.
Yeah, it's a very different feel. On the spectrum, Call of Duty is a much faster paced kind of, average life is 20 seconds. Whereas in Destiny 2, it's a much slower paced game. I think. And I like that. But you and I play Gambit. If we were going to play Destiny 2 and we were going to play a PvP mode, we would default to Gambit, which is a PvE PvP combined mode. It's like it's like a race in PvE with a sprinkle of PvP in it. If you've never played it before, like the 10 seconds on it is you're racing to kill monsters and turn in things that they drop into a bank. When you get to a certain level, you spawn a boss. The first person to kill the boss wins, right? Super straightforward. However, every now and then you can invade the other team's side. And that's where it becomes PvP, where you get to kill them and slow them down and back them up. So that's like the very little bit of sprinkle. That game has definitely caused heightened emotional state before.
Yes, for you specifically, absolutely. For me, a little bit, but yes, the thing that can really heighten that emotional state is that you can have, think that things are going well or think that you're almost there or about to make a comeback. And then all of a sudden somebody shows up from the other side and they just are in some kind of other plane of existence. And they manage to just one-shot snipe all 4 of the people on your team like instantaneously. And you don't even know what happened. That's rare, but it does happen.
I feel like in Gambit, they're very, I don't know if it's just the matchmaking or what it is, but every now and then you have a really good game. You have a really good neck and neck race to the end, and it feels good, right? I feel the equally amount of time, like equal number of times, you have an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, one side or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. Typically I'm on the receiving end, but whatever. And it just makes me like, I don't care to lose Gambit. I hate when exactly what you said, right? It's close and someone comes over during the PvP phase of it and just ruins you. It ruins the whole experience for me.
I don't think, and this is kind of similar, and we might talk about it a little later, but to Rocket League, where I don't get quite that emotionally invested into it. Like I don't get that wrapped up in it and really think like, oh yeah, I can't believe this happened. I mean, like, yes, I will be like, oh man, this is bad, but it's like, okay, well, fine, we'll get it next time. It's no big deal. It doesn't like sour the entire game for me if this happens. If it happens like several times in a row, then yeah, okay, I'll be like, okay, well, this is clearly not my night. It's fine. I'll just go do something else. But it doesn't like completely put me off of it instantly.
Yeah, I can probably take one of them, right? I think, from experience, a Gambit match that goes really poorly, I'm going to be like, it's probably a fluke. We'll play it again. If you get two of those in a row, I'm closing that game. I'm done. And I think the same thing is kind of true of Rocket League. We've gotten a little better with Rocket League, and by we, I mean me, has gotten a little better with Rocket League. But it's the same thing. If you just get totally stomped 3 games in a row or whatever, I'm closing the game. Now, the thing I've gotten better about, and I think, I don't know that this is a rage quit, but I am notorious for rage forfeiting.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Let me tell you a story. So many times in the past, and this I will give credit, this is not recent, this is in the past, we would be playing a competitive game of Rocket League, Jason and I, competitive 2v2. And the enemy would score the first goal on us, maybe off the first kickoff. And Jason would say, man, I can't forfeit yet. And the clock says like 4 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game, right? This is 2 seconds of playtime have elapsed and we're already trying to forfeit. And I'm like, I think maybe we should see this one through, or at least see what happens next.
I've never been that bad. Come on, give me a little credit.
After a series of like maybe 2 losses, and this is like the 3rd game and it starts off poorly, I think that's happened.
You're maybe right. Maybe I've built up to a state and I'm just like, forget it. I don't even want to try anymore.
Yeah, in Rocket League, you can't forfeit until, I don't know, what is it, a minute?
I think it's a minute and a half. Yeah, and there has definitely been, even recently, times where it's like 45 seconds have passed in a 5-minute game. And I'm just like, why can't I forfeit yet?
Now, the nice thing or interesting thing about this is that in order to forfeit, it has to be unanimous, which makes sense, right? You don't want somebody to kind of throw a game and just be like, yeah, I'm just going to forfeit on behalf of the team. And so typically it comes, especially in these games of 2s, it comes down to me opting not to forfeit. And usually what happens there is I will say, okay, one more. All right. If they score one more goal, then I will forfeit. And I do. And that's the agreement, right? Jason makes his intents known. And then I say, all right, give us one more. And then I have to initiate the forfeit, because once you've used your forfeit, you can't. But then I dutifully, if that's the deal that we make, right, then I will push the forfeit and Jason will agree. And then it will be, forfeited and we will lose that game. But my point of view, especially on Rocket League, is until it's like 1 minute left and the other team is up by 3, like it's not over. Like the game could still swing in our favor, because we have lost plenty of games that we were up by like 4 in the first 2 minutes and then we ended up losing them. So like I have seen that has happened and that is capable of happening.
The other thing that I think of when I think of rage forfeiting is that I will attempt to, like, if I know the ball's going to go in and there's nothing we can do to save it, I will attempt to forfeit before the ball goes in the goal.
Yes, and then I yell at you.
Because if the ball goes in, you then have to watch the replay and wait for it and all of that. So I attempt to forfeit before the ball goes in the goal so that we don't even have to watch the goal. so that we don't even watch the replay.
You should really understand, though, that requires me to be on the same page there, and I am never on the same page for that, because I don't have the Jason reflexes of being able to get to the forfeit part of the menu in 1.6 seconds flat. Like, it takes me maybe 3 seconds to get to that forfeit button. And so by the time you realize the ball is going to go in, get to the thing, click forfeit, I haven't even processed that forfeiting is occurring. So I can't. Like, it just doesn't work for me.
It makes me feel better.
Well, I'm glad that you feel better. But those ones I do not typically agree with and entertain.
I think there's a silver lining here, though, talking about this. I think forfeit in Rocket League is actually a good mechanic for me, because when you know you're going to lose, say in like Gambit, right? Or another game that we may want to talk about in like with Dota, when you know you're going to lose, being able to forfeit allows you to kind of come off of that, like that rage a little bit faster, because you don't have to watch the last minute or the last 2 minutes just kind of lose. In Gambit, you have to. There's no forfeiting in Gambit, which leads to a different problem of people leaving the game because they can't forfeit.
Yeah, leavers in most games are the worst. In Gambit, sure, that's one thing. That's a 10 to 15 minute commitment to play a game of Gambit. In Dota, the games are 20 to 60 minutes long, depending on the mode that you're playing. And so levers are just completely game ruining for the most part. Now, I have played my share of games where I have won a Dota game 4 versus 5, because in that game, at least, they give the team with the lever a little bit of bonus gold to like make up for the lever. So like whatever the lever would have gotten in gold, they actually increase the rest of their team, so that like at least the team gold overall is still going up at the same rate. So you actually have a chance. But in something like Gambit, there's no like rubber banding or catch up mechanic there. You're just down a person, and it's very unpleasant to be the person who is left behind, especially if you're someone like me who has more patience than like too much patience for their own good, and will kind of muddle through something like this. And then I may not choose to queue for the next one, but I, will stick it out. That can be very kind of frustrating to me when someone leaves the game prematurely and just kind of leaves me to pick up the pieces.
Is there a forfeit mechanic in Dota?
There is, actually. So if you're playing a ranked game in Dota and you type GG, then it will gray out, like in all chat. You have to type GG in all chat. Then it will gray out everybody in your team's screens like a little bit, like it puts a black and white filter on it, kind of. And then there's this very prominent button in the top left corner with a timer that says like you will forfeit in 15 seconds if no one on your team clicks the kind of cancel button. So it's kind of, instead of Rocket League where it has to be unanimous, in Dota it ends up being one person says it and then anybody can opt out, but they only have 15 or 20 seconds to actually do that opt out. But at least it gives you the power to say like, yeah, we're not forfeiting this.
Only one person has to opt out, right?
Yeah, only one person. It does not. The opt out does not have to be unanimous, and that's only in ranked, which is where you presumably have a team of people that you're like playing with and that you have chosen to be with and all of that.
So it doesn't happen in like a standard match.
I don't think it can happen in a casual match. I'm pretty sure in like regular Dota it does not happen.
Getting back to maybe the original question, have you? I mean, it's never gotten to the point where you've kind of raged in Dota. Like, you don't leave, right? We're talking about maybe other people impacting you, but have you ever felt like because I could see like if someone definitely, if they were like single focusing you, or if they were like they had the perfect counter or something, that you could get like really upset with a game, particularly because you don't want to leave, you don't want to spoil it for everyone else. Have you ever found yourself like getting really angry or maybe not angry, but like really frustrated?
I mean, I would say that what I end up doing in those situations, there's also very heavy leaver penalties in Dota. So like even if you leave a non-ranked game, like they will lock you out of queuing for another game for like 15 minutes. So it's not like you just like leave a game and you can get right back in. And if you do that like twice or 3 times in like the span of a week, then they make you play in the low priority queue, which is even worse because you have to play basically with a random hero assigned to you, and you have to win like 3 games in that state in order to get out of that queue, which is really unfortunate. Like, it's a very steep penalty, or it's very annoying. So I have not, I mean, you try everything you can not to leave a game for that reason. But also, if that happens and I start to be like, okay, this is a lost cause, sometimes I will make an effort to appear as if I am making an effort. And then I will maybe go off and say, all right, well, the team is going to keep throwing themselves at this thing and keep dying, which in some cases, yes, having another hero there can make or break it. But in some cases, if everybody's just kind of off doing their own thing, I'll just say, like, okay, I'm just going to push top. I'm just going to push top over and over again, or I'm going to push top until somebody comes and kills me, and then I'm going to push bottom. And I'll just kind of do my own thing, which is not a good team play. And in Dota, it's not really a recipe for success. But if you've already kind of figured out that your team is not going to gel together for whatever reason, then it's a way to kind of not get, kicked for inactivity, and also still kind of do something that could turn out to be useful. Sometimes the team will rally around somebody that's doing something like that. But I would say that I just kind of go off and do my own thing and then essentially wait for the game to end. And sometimes it's like, oh, the enemy team is pushing bottom. All right, well, I'm going to go push top, which is completely the wrong thing to do. But if I'm the only one alive, like, all right, I'll just go top, and they're going to roll into bottom. But what was I going to do anyway? So
right.
It's a way to kind of keep playing the game and kind of keep interacting in the game, but without really like doing too much to try to defend, to try to basically let it end sooner. But no, I don't think I've ever left a game on my own, like, because I was so frustrated. I have become very frustrated with friends I was playing with who did not kind of have the same level of care or reverence for not leaving, and have been like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm just going to leave. And that leaves me stuck holding the bag. Of course, once they officially have left the game, then anybody can leave without penalty, which is nice in Dota at least. But then, like, I have chosen not to play with some people for a few weeks when they were being unreasonable and too emotional and too impulsive with their quitting. But I haven't done that myself.
The only other game I could think of that Chris may have gotten frustrated, or, again, like, rage is a really strong word. And rage quit, is kind of a standard gaming term. But they're very, never have I thrown a controller. I have hit my desk a couple times with my fist, but never enough to break anything. But the only other game I could ever think of that maybe would put Chris in some kind of emotional state of frustration is Eve. Eve is this game where you put this tremendous amount of time and thought behind your ships and your actions, and everything is very deliberate. And sometimes just people come in and screw it all up.
Yeah, I think that was something that I've not really become like super angry at Eve. I think for a while I was so risk averse in Eve that I would just kind of hide and do safe things only. And then if I got ganked like in a high sec area, I at least knew that there was the kind of the police to come and get those guys. And I know that those guys, what they blew me up with is not worth what they lost. But I at least felt some measure of vindication there, and being like, okay, well, serves you right. You now have to, go back to wherever and deal with this, which I know that's not how it works, but it made me feel better. And the only thing in Eve was like, if I have an expensive ship, chances are I'm going to try to, be very careful with it anyway. So that's not really going to be something that I am likely to risk. But I think I had it happen once.
I think you had it happen once. Yeah.
I think I was just basically like, yeah, okay, let me get back to a station and I'm just going to log out, because I was not ready to deal with or rebuild from there. Like, it was something where I was just kind of over it. Like, I was like, all right, I don't want to put the effort into getting this back to where it was, even though maybe I can. No, because then I could lose it again, and those guys might still be out there, and I just don't want to deal with that. So yes, I would say that's probably the most emotional I've gotten about that kind of thing. But I don't know. I wouldn't characterize that as a rage quit. I mean, it wasn't enough to put me off of the game forever. It was like, okay, I'm going to stop playing this game for, I don't know, today, and then I'll probably be back tomorrow.
It was like a, log out, collect your thoughts, not stress about it, come back later.
Yeah, it's very much that's enough of that for today.
Yeah. But that's about as high as you get. So
Well, for me, yes, that's true.
that's why I thought of it, right? Because it's the only thing that I could ever think of that like was like, yeah, Chris is gonna react to this by logging out. But that's about as much as that you ever do. I would, again, I don't get angry. I don't get ragey. I do get frustrated and log out and quit, and kind of when it is appropriate, leave. I never kind of drop a game when others are still relying on me. Like anytime that I would forfeit Rocket League and Chris doesn't want to forfeit Rocket League, it's not like I'm just quitting out from underneath him. Or even if it's a rando. But I think I react a little bit more strongly than Chris does.
Yes, definitely. I will say I will tell you that I appreciate that now we are at the point in Rocket League where we will say, okay, this is the last one, right? We'll say either we'll say win or lose, this is the last one, or if we lose another one, I'm done, right? Or something to that degree. Because to me, that definitely feels better than, okay, we just suffered this, crushing defeat, and then all of a sudden, Jason's just like, yeah, I'm out. And it's like, well, but if we pre-agreed on that and like we pre-talked about it, like I'll do that too, because if I'm going to hop off to go, because I'm done for the day or something, just like we've been doing this for 2 hours, I'm this is my last one. That just to set those expectations, I think for me that's a better social state to be in, and to know that this is like, okay, here we are, as opposed to feeling like, maybe I screwed something up that made Jason angry, so now he's done playing this game and whatever. And I know that really isn't the crux of it, but I will say that like since we started to be more upfront about our intentions kind of towards the beginning of a game, that makes me feel better about kind of when we're done because we're losing.
Are you saying being thoughtful and communicative is a good thing?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's really deep here on P&A today.
Chris and I are what I would consider a bit level-headed in our video gaming, but there are plenty of memes and videos and the opposite side of the reaction spectrum out there on the internet. I am interested in kind of what all of you think. Or what your experiences have been, either personally or with your friends or with other people. I would love this is the space where there probably are some really good stories. Hopefully that don't make people mad, but that we can look back on and laugh at. So we'd love to hear from you on what your experiences have been with rage quitting.
Yeah, perfect place to give that feedback is actually in the feedback channel of the P&A Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you want to listen to any of our older episodes on a range of different topics, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com. Or you can subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app of choice.
Jason, I've heard actually this week that the new word is follow for podcasts. We don't subscribe to podcasts anymore. We follow them.
Interesting. Then you can follow us or subscribe to us or do whatever you want to do.
Yes, all we ask is that you keep listening and that you tell your friends if you're enjoying it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
I was just going to ask you if you had gotten any air tags.
Oh, no, I haven't. Are they out now?
They are. They're out now. Yeah.
Can you hold for about 30 seconds?
Sure.
Because then, yes, I will have gotten air tags. No, in general, I think air tags are good. I think they're $4 for $100 is a little bit more than I wanted, but I think that's fine. I am not going to buy any of the accessories from Apple because I suspect that much cheaper accessories will be on Amazon in about yesterday. And I also do not plan on engraving them.
That was going to be my question: is what do you think about the engraving thing? Because I am going back and forth. Mostly because I'm impatient and I can get them like this coming Friday when they first come out if I don't engrave them, and I have to wait until June if I do engrave them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why would you engrave them? Like, what would it even, why?
Well, because you can put like the little emojis on them, right? You can put the little like pictures essentially on them. And I feel like that it would be good to have them be able to be told apart. Like, so if I have these 4 things, they're these just like white blobs on the desk or wherever they are. And then, yes, granted, you're going to put them places, right? You're going to attach them to things or put them inside of things or whatever. And so maybe you don't need them to be, uniquely identifiable. But I'm like, well,
you're never going to look at them ever again.
I mean, that's fair. Probably not really. I don't know. I don't usually get my stuff engraved, although I did get my Apple Pencil engraved. That was something that I did do. But like for these, it just seems like you have the option, and you can get like you can get the robot emoji. You get this little picture of a robot, or you can get the little picture of the little Space Invader bug on there. That was what I was going to do, is the little Space Invader thing, the robot thing, my initials, my wife's initials. Like,
well, cool. I just bought some, so they'll be here May 4th.
May 4th, nice. Yeah, I'm thinking I might just go with a 4-pack, not engraved. Go pick them up at the Apple Store on Friday, maybe, just to get them, because I actually, believe it or not, have some travel coming up.
What?
I know it. This is crazy. I don't know how I feel about this, but yeah, coming up here in.
Do you still know how to fly in a plane?
I don't. It's been over a year since I have flown anywhere.
It comes back to you. It's fine.
I think I'll be fine. I'm pretty sure my TSA pre-check is still active. I don't really know.
You would have gotten an email. I had to renew mine last year, so it sends you an email.
Okay, good. Because I know that's good for 5 years, but I cannot remember when I got it, and I think it's coming up soon. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And so I was like, I'd like to have these AirTags before I travel, although I still haven't exactly nailed down where I'm going to put them. Like which like do I put them on all my suitcases? Do I put them in my backpack? Do I put them in the case that I keep my Switch in? Because that seems like something I might lose. I'm not really into it for the keys. I'm not sure that I need it to like find my keys, although I might put one on my keys.
I definitely need one for my keys, because I lose my keys all the time, because I don't need them every day. I need them like occasionally. I was going to put one in my backpack, because my backpack goes with me to and from work, and sometimes I forget where it is, because sometimes I leave it at work, sometimes I leave it at home, whatever. I wonder, you know what? Now that I think about this, I wonder if you can set up like if then that rules, or like stuff like that.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because I want to know, if I leave on a weekday, I leave my house between 8 and 10 a.m. and I don't have my backpack, I want it to alert me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are like the things that you can set up, like if you're moving and you don't, like, AirTags are really nice because you could be like, and I don't have my backpack with me and it's not at work.
I was going to say, what you almost want to do is actually say at 9 a.m. or something, or like when I open the garage door, if my AirTag of my backpack is at my house with me, like pop a reminder on the screen of my phone that says, don't forget your backpack. And then if I already have it with me, I'll dismiss it. And if I don't already have it with me, I'll go get the backpack.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would require a smart garage door opener, but that's on my list too.
Well, you get what I mean, like something like that. I have a smart switch in my kitchen, and so I could actually do, when I turn out the kitchen light, activate this whole process, because I don't have a smart garage door either. That would be cool. That's a good idea.
But I don't know if that's possible. Like, that wasn't in any of the advertising. But it would just have to kind of be part of HomeKit, right? Like, that's kind of a HomeKit thing, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, you can have a HomeKit run a shortcut, and then the shortcut can have like conditionals, like if and that kind of stuff. The question is going to be, do AirTags show up as a thing that you can request the status of in shortcut?
Yeah, I know you can request the status of like your location or people that you follow, and AirTags will just be another thing in the Find My app. So I would assume, but I don't know. That'd be really interesting to me. Like, that's how, like, having one in my backpack could really help me.
That is a really good idea, to put it in a backpack that you take back and forth to work. That is an excellent, because like, I'm like, I really want these things, but I have no idea why I need them. And that is a great idea.
I want them for things that travel, but that don't have like a regular pattern, right? I always have my phone. I always have my wallet. I always have, well, now my mask, right? Or something like that. But like, my backpack goes to and from work, but does not follow a set schedule. Sometimes if I'm at work late one night and I know I'm going back the next morning, I'll just leave it there. Like, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to bring my laptop home to not have it, just to not use it, to just bring it back in the next morning. So that's kind of why it doesn't, like, why I would say that my backpack doesn't have a set schedule. My keys, same way. Like, sometimes I just leave them in my car. If I know I'm not going to need them, I just leave them at home because they don't open in my house. They're my work keys.
Oh, when you keep saying keys that you don't always need, I'm like, how do you start your car?
Well, my car key is always in my pocket, but my like work keys or the thing that opens my front door, I don't always have with me because my garage door opens and closes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know, so I those are the kinds of things. I don't know where the last two would go. I have been thinking about maybe putting them on my like luggage, but I rarely have a checked bag and I really only ever have a carry-on bag now. But I don't know. I think I will find places I will find things for the last two.
Yeah, I think for me, luggage is a good one, mostly because if I do check a bag, I want to be able to know kind of if it's close or like if it's even come out of the little, carousel yet. And that would be of some interest to me. It would also be kind of fun to be able to have my phone do the little precise location thing and like point at the things.
So I'm on Amazon right now. Sorry. I'm gonna jump in. I'm on Amazon right now, and I didn't even think about this. But the thing I'm looking at right now is a keychain, and they have a picture of it being on a dog's collar.
Oh yeah, Apple recommends that you don't do that for some strange reason.
I had never even thought about that.
The trick with those is that you have to be close enough to an iPhone or an iDevice of some sort in order to be able to locate them.
Yeah, but oftentimes, like, especially nice dogs will go up to other people.
That's true.
And like a lot of times what I've seen, dog collar, I don't know why they don't recommend it, but that I like that. That's cool.
I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to get them not engraved. I think I'm going to order them to the Apple Store and go pick them up on Friday so that I get them before my trip. And then I got to get some little luggage tags or something so that I can work with them that way. One thing that I did see that somebody said on a different podcast I was listening to was that you should put, and I think it came from MKBHD, he said you should put them on the outside of your things so that somebody knows that they're there, because you can actually scan them with the NFC in your phone, even if you have an Android phone, and it will take you to a link where you can work with them. Like you can alert the owner that you found this AirTag thing. So it's not that you want to, because they're not very good for like hiding inside of a bag to track the bag, because they have that thing where they start to beep if they're too far away from their owner for too long. So they're really not very good for like somebody maliciously stealing your thing. But if somebody finds your bag and they're, a good Samaritan kind of thing, then they would absolutely be able to get in touch with you by just scanning a barcode, or not scanning a barcode, scanning an NFC using their iPhone or Android phone.
How does that work? If I leave my backpack at work and I'm going home and I've left my thing there, is my backpack going to be beeping?
No, it only beeps if it moves.
If it moves, okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's a beep or a ding, or no idea what the sound is, but it makes some kind of noise if it gets moved while it is far away from its owner. And also, if you have the AirTag with you, so like if you had it on your keys, you gave your keys to somebody else, like if it was like your car keys, then it would be traveling with somebody that doesn't own them, and it would tell them like, hey, there's an AirTag that's traveling with you, which like prevents somebody from like stalking you using an AirTag.
Right.
And so then you can actually disable that using your own phone. You can be like, yeah, okay, I get it. That's fine. Or you can say, oh gosh, stop that tracking. Like that's an option that you, as the person that the AirTag is with, has.
Oh, cool.
And not the owner of the AirTag, which is a little bit weird, but it makes sense.
Well, I bought 4. I have to find places for the last 2.